Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in the world on this clear and calm, if not riftwise, night. And we are picking up just a few minutes after the end of last episode. I have put together the very last of our fire clay bricks, and I am firing up the last of our meteoric iron. We've actually picked up a few pieces of meteoric iron along the way to our quarry. I've hit, I think, this one here, and this one was a big one. I hit that a couple episodes ago, and ended up cutting it from the episode because it was just such a long piece, and you've all seen me dig up these things before, but we have a pretty good stash of meteoric iron, so for simpler tools and things, I think we don't have to dig into our steel, and we can maybe use the steel and reserve it for repairing our armor and for making new boxes, almost call them long blades, and that way we can just sort of have this as our regular use stuff. Anyway, today we are on a new version of Vintage Story, 1.17.9, and this version comes along with a very wonderful fix. You can all breathe a big sigh of relief. Tyron's fixed. The clay ovens. The logs now look correct in it. I know. It was game breaking. Couldn't even touch the game with this unfixed. Anyway, today's episode is going to be one that takes us away from the house. In the last couple episodes, I mentioned that I wanted to go on an archaeological dig, and a dig we shall go. I've spent some time looking at the map and marking out a few places where there are ruins, especially ruins that are the remains of villages, because those are where we find some really cool stuff. These are kind of distant, but they're not super far away, for the most part. This one I think is interesting because it was a Stonehenge-like structure. I think we found before, but we could check it out again today, although it is going to be pretty out of the way, and I know they have kind of meh treasure, if anything. Here we go. Here's a treasure trove right here. 3 villages, all super close to each other. I want to hit these up, I want to hit this one that's close by, and then maybe a couple of these guys down here. We have a string of 3 over this way. So, that is the plan today, and that means that I need to prepare by making us some more food, because we're getting low on these pies, and probably checking my inventory. Yep, we have a bunch of junk we need to dump before we go. Anyway, I will see you all in the morning when we are ready to head out. Alright, good morning everybody. We are setting out, and you will notice that I have an almost dead pickaxe in my inventory. I do have a spare. Right there. And we have a friend. Hello, friend! It's a crawly friend. Ow. And a rift. Anyway, we are heading out, and I'm going to go over to this little town first, because it is a straight shot east of our home, and also it lets me pass by our farms and check on them real quick, because we are pretty much out of soybeans, and looks like we have just a few days left to wait. Oops. No, I'm stuck. There we go. So, I'm going to head out, and I'll meet you all when we are over at this village, and we can investigate. Okay, we are coming up on this little town here, and I have been taking some prospecting samples along the way, just to see what is what. I found some good sources of a couple things. We have some ultra-high sphalerite at 3.6 per meal, which is crazy, right behind us, and then some cinnabar a little farther back, decent cinnabar. So if we need some red dye, we are in business. I also found some woad up on top of here, so if we need to make some blue dye to fix our armor here, which I think we will at some point soon, then we have access to that. Oh, and hey, more cornflower. Nifty. Anyway, here we are at this little village, and I have not seen some of these before, like this, which looks to be like some kind of mausoleum. Let's dig this up. Yeah, some kind of mausoleum with a rib cage in a sarcophagus and a forage vessel. Now, why were they buried with forage? Who knows? Anyway, let's take a look around here, and we will dig up all the interesting stuff we can find, and then dig underneath it. Let's start with the mausoleum. These are interesting. They always have this stone path inside, which I'm not sure why, but it does have a forage vessel. So this person was buried with 6 horsetail poultices. Sorry. Actually, there's 2 people who are buried here. But, sorry guys, this did not help you. You died. Your bandages were of no use to you. And I'm going to dig up your other friend's bones here and take them with us. And then we're going to dig underneath to see if there's anything underneath here. Looks like there might not be. Usually once you hit stone, it's sort of the end of the road. But we'll dig in a couple places just to make sure that we are not overlooking anything. No, I think we're not. Okay. Well, unfortunate, but that happens. So that is the mausoleum. And then what do we have here? This is an ore vessel, so this could be maybe a blacksmith. But I don't see a forge, and it's also fairly small, too. But let's take a look at what's in here. We have some galena. Not too shabby. And we also have some more bony soil here. Ooh, now this tells me there might be a basement here. So, yeah, look at that. Let's go ahead and hop on down. Yeah, oh, a storage vessel, okay. So this is less a basement and more of like a hidey hole where they really buried some supplies. Nope, nothing there. So what's in here? Just a vessel. Okay, I'm going to leave you because we have enough vessels. And we have a forage vessel, not a storage vessel. So they kept more poultices and a bunch of clay. Boy, they must not have had much on them if they were saving clay. Well, let's get out of there. And let's go to this central one. What are you? You also have ore, so maybe this is like a little mining village, and given where they are, I mean, let me bring up the pickaxe here. I have prospected here. When we were looking for coal, this is where I got the coal somewhere over here. So maybe this was a little mining village, and that's why they have all this ore here. Let's see what they got. I hear groans. They got coal and copper. Nifty. And I wonder if there's a basement here, too. Nope, but there is some quartz. What do we have here? Just quartz. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Nothing underneath you. But then we do have this guy over here. What are we looking at here? We have a forage vessel and food. So maybe this looks more like a house. I mean, we have sort of 2 main areas here. We have like a... Actually, more like 3 main areas. We have like a little entryway here. Maybe this is like a little porch. And also a drifter welcoming site. And then we have maybe a living area here. And then what was maybe a kitchen back here. We have the pantry here. So let's check the forage vessel first. That has a bunch of grass and more poultices, looks like. Yep. And in the food, we have rice, I think. Yep, rice. Okay. So yeah, I think we found their pantry for the village, or at least this house. Let's go ahead and I think we're going to have a basement in this one. Let's go ahead and dig these up. Take this bony soil with us, at least. Here we go. Oh, a forage vessel again. Oh boy. More grass and reeds this time. Okay. Exciting. You can tell by my voice that I'm very excited about reeds and grass. Now this is more like it. This is more like it. What have we got here? Anything? Yeah, here we go. Alright, hidden room. Ooh, with a bookshelf and an owl treasure chest. Yes, yes. Just what I wanted. Forage and forage. Got some fire clay. And we are full up on junk. Sticks, my favorite. My other favorite. Okay. Well, let's go and dump some of this stuff. The things that we really don't need. And then we'll go and ransack that for the rest of its goodies. So, on B-nades. We got B-nades. My favorite weapon in the world. Yep. Favorite. Nothing stronger. Go ahead and take the bookshelf. Even if it is just one. Oh, ooh, okay. Okay, we got a merchant amulet, and we got the Hallowcroft Resonance Archive. Now, we've heard Hallowcroft before. You might not know it by name, but this is a song that I do, or a track that I do play pretty commonly when recording and editing these videos. Looks like we have some more of this here. Do we have any silver or gold on this side? Oh, we have... So we got the quartz, so we have lignite, native copper, and native silver. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark this as coal and silver. We'll do that. Ooh. Those drifters are sad that we found their stash of coal. Well, this is a pretty cool find. I think we have just one more. It's this guy over here. It's a pretty big looking house, or building. Let's go ahead and drop off some of this stuff that we don't need. And what might you have been? Another forage vessel. So this is more clay. This is a lot of clay. Maybe this was some kind of potter's house? Oh, something here too. More forage. Stones. So yeah, maybe a potter or some kind of craftsman who dealt with a lot of clay and stone. We're going to honor their work and throw it all out. Let's go ahead and dig under here a little bit and see if we can find anything hidden beneath. Let's see, you kind of go... Let's dig under... This isn't really part of the building, is it? Okay. Just dig down from here. Nope. And nothing there either, okay. Looks like this one is just what it has on the surface. Okay, well, that was an interesting find, overall. And on top of all the goodies we got here, we also did find a source of more coal. We're going to need more of that eventually, as well as silver and, what was it? Copper. So copper is probably just surface copper, so not a ton there, but still neat. Well, I'm going to go and make ourselves a little bed, and we're just going to dig a hole and hide for the night, and then we'll set out again in the morning. Is that salt? No. Oh, it's not salt. I know what you are. I know what you are. Check this out, everyone. Looks like we came up on some pink cream marble. Just sitting here waiting for us to spot it. And we've passed this at least a couple times, so it's pretty cool. Alright. Nifty. So that actually goes pretty well with the white marble we have just over here. So I'm going to mark this, and I'm actually going to drop this stuff off at our base, because I do have a wooden chest with us, but we already have a whole bunch of stuff, and well, some of it, like the sandstone, doesn't need to stay with us. I'm not sure where I even got that from. The rest of it I would like to keep, and don't feel like dragging it up north with us, because we don't need it, and we're passing by home anyway. Okay, everyone, we are off to the northwest, and we are going to pick up a couple odds and ends along the way. There is one Terra Preta deposit I'm going to grab as we go by, just because it's convenient, and there are also some merchants, some traders that we did not visit or even spot on the first time down here. So I'm going to hit some of those and sort of start building up the list of all the different kinds of traders we have in our area. And hopefully we'll have, you know, one of each at least. But if not, we can of course always go farther afield. Just hope we don't have to go as far afield for luxuries merchants as we did back north. Hey, do you know what time it is? I know what time it is. It's that time again. It's time for 20 questions. That's right, you all submitted some great questions, and it's time for me to pull them up and answer some of them. Let's get started. Our first question is from Midori Mushrooms. What is your favorite song on the Vintage Story soundtrack? That's a tough one because I think I have a few favorites depending on my mood. I like the catchy melody of Daylight. This is probably my absolute favorite one, and I often find myself humming or whistling it while I'm doing chores around the real-life house. But I also like the brooding momentum of Adventuring and Hallowcroft when I'm in that kind of mood, and Followcroft has a similar but mellower feel. There are also several tracks that evoke a slow, creeping feeling of furtive exploration and pre-dawn fog, like Midnight, Through the Grass, and To Dawn. I realize that's kind of a long list, but I think I'll stand by Daylight as my favorite. We have 2 questions from Anna Chibi. How do you label translocators so that you know where they go? Label? Translocators? Yes, I label them. Yep, that's me. Honestly, while I've thought about labeling them, I never really have. To be fair, we've only found a total of, 6 translocators, so remembering each one's destination isn't a challenge, especially since I've been through most of them so many times. Their second question is, how do you put game music over your montages? Do you just record it and put the sound over top, or is there a Vintage Story soundtrack resource that video makers can use? If you go to the folder where you installed Vintage Story, which on Windows defaults to the appdata/Vintage Story directory, and then go to Assets, Survival, and Music, you'll find all of the music that can be played in the survival game. You can also navigate up a folder and go into the Game/Music and the Creative/Music folders, and find a couple additional tracks there. Then, I just add the music in a separate audio track with the volume turned way down. Our next question is from Ryuga. What's the best or funniest Dungeons & Dragons campaign you can remember? My experience with D&D campaigns is that typically, the sillier the campaign, the shorter it lasts. I personally have a harder time getting invested and staying interested if the game is too silly, though I have no trouble with a serious campaign that has occasional side dishes of humor, especially if that humor is from player characters who are deeply scarred and compensate for it by being the class clown, within reason. So I'm going to tell you about what's probably the best campaign I was ever in, despite not being all that funny, though it's really tied for first place with about 3 other campaigns. Once upon a college dorm room, a friend and I jointly ran a campaign for us and some of our friends. We collaborated on high-level storytelling stuff, but each session, we would switch off who was the DM, and the other one of us would just be a player for that session, so we didn't know all the twists and turns as a player. We played a pair of identical Dark Elf twin brothers, Malrath and Perion Davok. I was Malrath, in a homebrew setting where there was an empire of human supremacists, basically medieval Nazi Germany, and we the players were the underdogs who wanted to overthrow the regime. Mind you, this was in version 3.5, where Dark Elves, or Drow, are reviled by everyone in general. Anyway, our characters, being Drow, really couldn't fit in with society due to their race, so they became masters of disguise. By day, they posed as Effendi Gabono Mbonja and his brother and indentured servant, Jalil. By night, they stalked the city's aristocracy and leadership classes, murdering and brutalizing them to send a message: there will be a revolution, or we will come for you next. We took turns goading the rest of the players into investigating our own crime scenes in a wildly successful attempt to start a revolution. We even convinced one player's character, who was previously a true believer in the Empire, that all of the evils he had previously overlooked and taken to be normal were wrong. The climax of that campaign for me wasn't when we did finally overthrow the Empire. It was a bit earlier, when our identities were revealed to the other players for the first time. We had been dropping hints for months, along with suspicious, unexplained absences of Gabono or Jalil, especially at inopportune times, and swore up and down that the others must have already figured it out. Then, when our group was attacked in their hideout by some government agents, my character had a planned wardrobe malfunction, revealing his identity. And there was like a solid minute of silence from the rest of the group before they started howling with laughter and good-natured accusations. We were pretty blindsided by their reaction. I think we were more surprised at their surprise than they were at the reveal. Our next question is from Tricky. What is the warmest sort of climate or biome that still has snowy winters? Vintage Story doesn't have distinct biomes or really climates, so I can't really answer your question quite the way you'd expect. The answer depends greatly on your world settings, but I'm going to assume that you started a standard survival world and made no changes to the settings, and that you set your world spawn in a temperate zone. In this case, you can expect to still have snowy winters somewhere between Z7000 to Z12000, which is about 7 to 12 kilometers south of spawn. This can vary a bit by location due to the randomly generated temperature map, and also by elevation. You can probably go as far as south as 20 kilometers and still experience snow if you find a mountain that's tall enough. Our next question is from Baphomet. With the lore expansion coming, do you think we can expect to see a big boost in the treasure hunters trades? Hard to say. It would be neat, sure. But every time I try to guess at Tyron's designs for a new feature, I always get them wrong. So if I say yes, the trades won't change, but if I say no, we'll get more trades. So, no, absolutely not. Our next question is from Critical Pixel. How did you find out about the game Vintage Story? What was the biggest factor in giving it a try? I first discovered Vintage Story through the great and mighty YouTube algorithm. My watch history is full of videos about that other block game, and at some point, YouTube decided that I needed to watch Paul Soares Jr.'s videos about Vintage Story. And I mean, YouTube tried for weeks to get me to watch it. So finally, when I was all caught up in my other videos, I caved and watched. The game got me hooked almost instantly. I then went on a Vintage Story binge and watched a lot of Ashanton's videos, and I bought the game probably 2 or 3 weeks after I initially found it. I think what really drew me in was that it had a lot of the interesting complex features from modding that other block game, but without relying on clunky mods that may or may not interact with each other properly, and so on. And oftentimes I find that in that other block game, I found that the interesting mods are really just grindfests or needlessly complex. I feel like Vintage Story boils down a lot of the more realistic processes into something that's still achievable within the time that I have that I can spend gaming. Our last question for today is from Dharma264. I realize you likely have been gaming for a long time, but what got you to start streaming, and did you imagine at the time that you'd be as successful as you are now? I think I partially answered the why of this series a while ago, but I think I have a more complete answer now. One thing I noticed about Vintage Story content before I started is that there were plenty of free-form Let's Plays and plenty of single-topic tutorials and theory crafting. In contrast, most of what I watched related to the other block game are so-called survival guides, which are tutorial-like how-tos, but done in the context of a survival Let's Play. Basically, I saw an unfilled niche, and I figured I could fit into it. The other part of why I started this series is also that I wanted to share my builds in ways other than posting screenshots that get quickly buried, and to be able to talk about them for more than their brief lifetime in that screenshots channel. As for how successful the channel is, honestly, given the performance of my prior videos, the Space Engineer's hangar doors notwithstanding, I kind of figured I'd make a dozen videos, have a couple interesting conversations about the game, and then quietly fade back into the ether. But that clearly didn't happen. I was surprised and thrilled when we hit the 500 subscriber mark, and then the 1,000 mark soon after. Now, we're inching our way toward the 2,500 mark, which is just super exciting, and the thought of the small but growing community that's collected around my content really fills me with joy. I really never thought my work would be this popular, so I'm flabbergasted at the outpouring of love for it, and it gives me some hope for my other creative endeavors. Well everyone, that's all the questions for today. Thanks to everyone who's submitted questions, and thanks to everyone for watching, liking, and subscribing. Ha, first plug. I'm happy to have all of you here in my life on this channel, and I'm looking forward to more content, more fun, and more 20 questions. As always, if you have a question you'd like me to answer in a video like this one, drop it in the comments with hashtag 20questions. Or post it in the 20 Questions Discord channel. Okay everyone, looks like we are approaching this next village, and I cannot wait to see what lies inside and beneath it. I'm kind of pulling for a second comfy bed just because then I could actually have a nice long sleep away from home. But looks like we have a seed vessel here. We got, turnips. Turnips, my favorite. Those are just going straight out. Bye, guys. But I'm gonna guess that this could have been maybe a farmhouse or maybe a granary. Maybe just a storage shed, really. What have we got here? Anything else? It occurs to me I could have brought maybe a second shovel, although we do still have 1100, almost 1200 durability, so maybe not a concern. I think this has nothing else beneath it, but I am going to give it a tappy tap. There we go. Oh wow. Copper and nickel, okay. Let's start from the southern one first. Ooh, more onions. If you were 7/7s, I would harvest you right now. But we have, hey, more seed. Maybe this was some kind of farming village. We got spelt. I'll hold those for now, but I will probably just dump them in the end. Let's see what lies underneath you after I get your bony soil. Nope, don't waste our ability there. And of course we have our good friend over there, whirling and blopping at us. Okay, what do you have? This is a wild one. We have forage and forage, and it's very spread out. My goodness. Very high. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to make another bed and dig a hidey hole probably somewhere else so I don't have to clean up the drifters afterward, but let's get that over with. So I'll meet y'all back here in the morning, and we will continue our dig. Good morning, everyone. I was lucky enough to be able to crash at my friend Timaf's house, or cart, because he has a nice comfy bed, so we were able to skip more night than with a boring, junky hay bed. It is still very high rift activity, but since we will be in, well, daylight, and I use that term somewhat loosely, then it won't be a problem. Hopefully. Oh boy, hail. That's not great. Anyway, let's get in here. I'm gonna break these forge vessels, get the excellent junk. Oh boy, claystone and sticks. And let's just go ahead and start digging down here. I think right about here is where we're gonna find something interesting. Maybe not. Okay, I was wrong. Let's try down here. Nothing there. How about here? Seems to be a thing here. Nope. Okay, never mind. Okay, well this central building was maybe some kind of town hall or other communal area. We had a bit of storage here for, well, junk really. Cattails, claystone stones. We'll hang on to you for now. We have a small building over here. This is more ore. Okay, this looks just like the one that we found at the previous village, so take this and get more galena. Not too shabby. I don't remember if that one had a basement or not. I don't think it did. It was awfully small. Yeah. That's fine, though. And then looks like we have one last building here. We have another ore vessel. And this looks like to be the same kind as the other ruin with more galena. Not too bad. And I think... Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh, we do have something down here again. That's right. We have a cracked forage vessel and some dirt. And more forage. But no bookshelves this time. Oh, be still my beating inventory. So this seemed to be like a little farming village. They had a lot of seeds and some forage stuff, and then a little bit of ore. So maybe they had a blacksmith sort of doing other work. What is that? Oh, that's that trash that I threw out. Right. Okay. Whew, I'm like, that is some kind of crazy bouncing mob I've never seen before. Okay, well, that was that village. We do have two more that are very close by, along with two more traders. So I think the route here is going to be going north, then west, then south, and then I might continue over to this one over here. Yes, I think I will. So, let's get to it. And here we are at a ruin type I have never seen before that apparently has a dead chicken in it. Dead hen. Doesn't say it was eaten by another creature, so it may have just fallen here, or maybe even drowned. It's weird, though. Now, this kind of ruin I have seen before, and we have seen this before in this game a long time ago. In fact, I'm not sure this is really a village. This might just be two ruins of normal kinds that were generated close together randomly. But let's go and have a bit of a dig, shall we? don't see any storage vessels immediately on the surface here, but maybe there will be something underneath. Ah, yes. Still very high. What about here? There's like a little fenced-off area. Oh, here we go. So we have a forge. Means this might have been some kind of forge in the past, I guess. Or a blacksmith, I mean. Forge means it's a forge. Duh. You know, I do think we found one of these before, and I don't think we found anything underneath it last time either. That's where we dug before. Okay. So that's a bit of a shame, but let's see what this one has. And, oh, andesite cobble skull. I didn't know that was a thing. Interesting. And chalk cobble skull. Neat. So two different kinds. I think we saw the chalk before, but not the andesite. It's a wild one. So let's start digging this out. Get flooded. Why not? And let's just go ahead and see what we can find here. Well, everyone, I think that's about it for this. I think that the intent with this ruin is that the cobble skull might be the treasure. There wasn't anything substantive we found there. In fact, we found no loot vessels or any other interesting decorations aside from what are admittedly quite interesting cobble skull of two kinds. So, we're going to go ahead and move on to the trader across the water and then to the neighboring ruined village just south of them. So, I'll meet you all there. But here, this is interesting to me. This is quite interesting. Let's start over on this side. I think we've seen this kind before. We have forage, which has some bamboo and some more beanades. Gonna get rid of those. And some flax fibers, not too bad. And then more forage. Oh, more of the same kind of. Alright. I'll take it. And what secrets do you hold beneath thy foundation? Yeah, now we're talking. What do we have down here? Another owl chest? Alright. Ooh, yeah. Oh, great. Yes. Cool. So this is my first time actually finding any of the special armors, aside from buying them. You know, we bought them twice, actually. One for each type. I've never found them in a chest before, and we have a couple new scrolls. What do we have? We have the last part of brief discussions with a traveler. Okay. And we have letters, 7 of 8. Excellent. Get back here. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna guess that that's probably the only thing buried here, unless this is anything... No. Oh, we do have this. Probably no additional ruins under here. Because that ruin was basically centered here, so we'll leave the rest of this... Yeah. Alright, cool. Next one, what do we have here? Seed vessel, so maybe another farming. We do have a nice little, you know, area they could have farmed, nice and flat. They had a lot of sheep around here. Maybe they farmed sheep and got milk. What do we have? We have carrot seeds. I don't care about you. Let's dig under here. I don't remember if the last one with a seed vessel had a basement, but as I understand, there is some variation to how these generate. Some of the ones that have basements... Actually, I think they can all have basements. It's just sort of random as to which ones do. I'm gonna go with this one doesn't have one. Let's fill you in too. Then we have you. What are you? More seed. Okay, yeah, definitely a little farming village. I think this is the exact same ruin. Yep, this is the same ruin as the other one. Turnips. Okay. Don't need you. What do you have? You have onion seeds. You're better than nothing, but you know, I have plenty of onions. I don't really need you. I don't really need these spelt seeds either, but whatever. Alright, let's dig under you. And nothing once again. Okay. Well, that's fine. That was a neat little village to explore, even if there wasn't anything super duper good to find. Actually, I lied. We did find something super duper good. These greaves are honestly worth it. Although, as I understand, they're now actually harder to rebuild. Ah, there you go. Need a gold plate to finish it off. So, a bit more expensive. Not too bad. And we'll take a tap here. Lots of copper. Nifty. Okay, well that's this one done. Mark you off. And now I want to go... Tell you what, let's hit this guy first. And then we'll go from here to this guy, and then this area right here. And then I think we'll head home so that we can then travel down here to these ruined villages that we found already. But it is getting kind of dark, so I might go ahead and make my bed, just so I have it for when I need it. We'll be off, but not down. Oh, and of course, we found a meteorite. So, you know I have to dig this up right now. Okay, well this is a pretty crazy meteorite. It was kind of broken and scattered in a couple different directions, but we got 29 more pieces of meteoric iron from it, so that's, what, 14 and a half more ingots? I call that a win. Alright, good morning everyone. We are getting pretty close to our destination here. Rip my knees. Oh, never mind. But I want to just show you this crazy generation. We have all these weird needle-like mountains in this sort of a sparse jungle, but still interesting to look at. With some purple heart, which is pretty cool. But this is one of the jungles that, as I was running around, when we first got down here, we were looking for our, you know, final home. This is one of the jungles that I was like, this would be neat, but it was a little too spiky and crazy. Plus, unstable, so no thanks. But as we are cresting this ridge here, it's our destination. I think I see some different ruins than we've seen before, at least today. We have another forage vessel. I think this is the double forage one, isn't it? Forage and forage. And I think... Didn't this one have... Or one of them had a basement right in the center here. Here we go. Yeah. Alright. More owl chests. Yeah. With a scroll. Cool. Alright. I'll take it. We have... Yes, the last bit of letters that we didn't have before. Okay, cool. More forage, more beanades, and importantly, an owl chest. And really, that's all I care about. There's a funny little delay when you have a full inventory where the game's like, I'm not sure I can stack anything. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I can. There you go. We have more ore. Looks like sphalerite, I'm going to guess. Don't really need all of this dirt. Yep, some sphalerite. And then we have some of that. And do we have anything under here? Ooh, I think we might. I think we might. Hey, there we go. I'm gonna guess just more forging, though. Yep. Not super interested. So I think we have two of each of these, and then we have this guy right here. Which this one looks to be... Okay, I think I recognize this one. I think we've run into this before. I'm pretty sure if there is going to be a basement, it'll be under this column here. But I do need to address this. Okay, well let's go ahead and we'll dig you out. We'll get your forage. Yeah, not super interested. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Here we go. Here's our basement with our obligatory owl chest and forage vessels. Ooh, a Forlorn Hope sash. Okay, that's immediately worth it. And we'll just take you. Great. And then last but not least, we have you. And some quartz under here. Copper and coal. You know, I will make some room for those. Oh, and here we go. Alright, just more forage. Oh, and a storage vessel. Empty, though. Okay. I don't really need you. Okay, so with those 4 done, let's go over here. I'm just going to leave the forage vessels. I don't need them. I do think there is something under here. Or rather, there would be if there was something. Let's find out. Oh, maybe not. Either what I said before is correct about the randomness of these designs. How they don't always have basements. Or... Hey, there we go. Okay. Maybe I misremembered where the basement was for this one. Because I have found these before. Ooh, we got double ore. And... nothing there. Okay. Alright, got some rusty gears. Tell you what, I think it is time that we put down our real chest. And let's go ahead and stuff some things into it. What do you have? You have more black coal. Awesome. Take up these guys. And you have black coal and junk. I mean quartz junk. I mean quartz chunk. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's not a bad haul. Let's go and visit the trader. And then I'm going to hightail it back to our home. We're going to unload everything we have. And then we'll set back out to the southwest this time. I think you... Oh, survival goods, okay. I thought you might be a luxuries trader given by your very fine sash and the very bright coin purse, but no. Nothing I want to buy here. Maybe a wolf pup someday, right? So cuddly. Well, I'll meet y'all back when we are about to head out to the southwest from our base and checking out those ruined places down there. And another meteorite. I feel obligated. Anyway, I'll see you all there. Well, everyone, we have made it home. And I don't know if you've noticed yet, but we have a temporal storm incoming. It's going to be a heavy one, unfortunately. And I think, because of that and a couple other things, I think that means that it's going to be a good time to call the episode once we get back inside, because I'm going to need to redo my inventory, need to cook some more food, need to weather the storm, and I'm just going to have to probably call the episode there. And we'll pick up next time with probably the other leg of this exploration. Let's go see what we got today, and then tomorrow, next episode, we will take a look at what goodies these places have to hold down here, and we might even ransack a few of the other cool places like this one, and maybe some of these sandstone ruins along the way, because I know they can have some interesting stuff in them. Okay, so everything we got from today is in these 3 chests, minus some stacks of dirt and some cobblestone, but we have nothing in this owl chest. I just put it there because it was, you know, needed space. We got a Hallicroft Resonance Archive, and I will put that music on now, I hope. I'll have to fade out the other music and start this one up. We have over a stack of bony soil, and I think we have... Nope, no more in there, okay. We got a bit of copper, a bunch of galena, which I didn't restack here, there we go. Oh, got some more copper here, there we are. We got a turquoise turritella shell, a merchant amulet, bookshelves, some black coal, once again, more stacky. We got some flax, some sphalerite, over a stack of terra preta, a whole bunch of horsetail poultices. We got a second aged wooden bed, some broken forlorn hope greaves, which we could fix up eventually, a forlorn hope sash, a whole bunch of chalk cobble skull and a smattering of andesite cobble skull, a copper scythe, 5 rusty gears, 50 iron meteorite pieces, which is basically a complete restock of our unforged metal, a total of 4 owl treasure chests, and we got one lone planter. So I think that's a pretty good haul, and at some point we can even settle down with these guys, and maybe I'll put on some Netflix or something and just sift through this bony soil and see what other treasures we can find in there. Well, everyone, that is about all we have time for in this episode of the Vintage Story Guide. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure, and I hope you enjoyed my answers to your 20 questions. Look forward to discovering more interesting things and bringing home more treasure in the next episode, and then I think we will come back home and we'll focus on some more of our build here, well, builds plural, and start filling out more of our home. If you have any AMA questions you'd like me to answer in a video like this one, drop them in a comment with the hashtag 20questions, or submit it on the 20 Questions Discord channel. Support and social links, including the Discord invite, are in the video description. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.